Hey folks, welcome to Money Me. I appreciate that you guys have stopped here. Hey, you want to do real quick, do me a favor, like and subscribe to the channel. I'd greatly appreciate it. So, full disclosure, I am not a licensed trader. I'm not a licensed broker. Just a regular guy that has traded stocks over the last 20 years, buying and selling stocks, options, investing into mutual funds, and I've been a landlord, business owner. So I created this channel basically to talk about all things money. I wanted to have a channel that basically was the regular guy that could talk to everyone about things money, but not have to well, the guy's trying to sell me something. At the end of the day, I just want you guys to subscribe and follow my journey. And today we're going to talk about Bitcoin. And a lot of times I get messages, hey Pat, could you talk about crypto at all? Have you ever invested into Bitcoin? Well, I have. I invested into Bitcoin a couple years ago when it was in the $6,000-7,000 range, and sold it. Didn't have a lot, not a lot, under $100, and had pretty much doubled my money until I paid the fees. Then kept it in, but sometimes I feel like I'm not doing my own. I'm doing a disservice to my own, that I'm basically writing Bitcoin off. And as you can see here, I have a chart pulled up because I'm using the Webull desktop app. If you guys are interested in signing up for Webull, you can. It doesn't cost nothing. And if you follow the link in my description, there is you get some free stock, and you can trade Bitcoin on Webull. So again, not trying to plug. If you don't, I don't care. If you do, check it out. You get stock. I get a referral stock for just clicking on my link. But I decided I had some money in my Coinbase account, not a lot, under $50, and I said, wow, what am I doing? Bitcoin, let's look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin had hit 69,000 on November the 9th. Just like the stock market, a lot of stocks that peaked, and now here we are at 37,000. I'm recording this on Friday, January the 28th. I took that under $50 and I put it into Bitcoin, and with the philosophy that I'm going to start nibbling on it. There are people definitely interested in Bitcoin. I don't fully understand what Bitcoin is. It's basically a digital currency, but there is definitely a market value for Bitcoin. There's definitely going to be an opportunity to make money using and trading Bitcoin. And I'm taking the philosophy that maybe I'm going to start making it a small portion of my portfolio or what I hold. Now, what my plan is to do, and I think it was ARK Investments, and I hate to misquote if I'm saying it wrong. They see in another probably 8 to 12 years, Bitcoin hitting 3 million. I mean, I don't know where they come up with these crazy prices, and we're gonna look back and I mean, here's opportunities. I mean, look at this chart, how we can go out. Bitcoin. This is a daily chart that I'm using. I mean, I bought it, just full disclosure, I bought it yesterday at $36,293. Now, full disclosure, you don't need $36,000 to buy one Bitcoin. You can buy fractional Bitcoin. So if you only want to put in $100 at a time, you get a fraction of what you would get in Bitcoin. So that's the nice thing. So if Bitcoin does double from here in the next even 2 years, for example, if you invest $100, your $100 is going to turn to $200. So you're still going to double your money. It's a smaller amount. So you still have the opportunity, which I like, because I remember back when I started investing in my 20s. If a stock was $200, you needed $200, or you weren't getting the stock. Now with they even do with the mini stock and the portions and the things like that, you can do that also with stocks. So if Amazon is currently $2,800, you can get into it and buy fractional shares. So you can buy fractional Bitcoin. So I'm only talking about Bitcoin. I know people talk about Dogecoin. What I want, if I'm going to invest in crypto, I really want to invest into something that's more solid and more not some of these miscellaneous. Am I missing out on those? Probably, maybe. And maybe it's one of those things where I think people are sold. And let's go back. And I think what happens is people are sold on the opportunity that, and we can go back way back here. I mean, Bitcoin, $162 around February the 21st, 2015. I think that's what happens. Everybody thinks they buy Dogecoin, for example, a nickel. And even if it went to just $20,000, that's going to be a tremendous amount of return. So someone throwing $1,000 into that is, could be, there's all these stories. Well, if you had $1,000 into Bitcoin, you would be worth. And it's funny because I looked at the charts. Had you had $1,000, you'd be multi-million dollars, worth. So what I'm going to start to do is slowly over this next 2022 is nibbling at Bitcoin. I am in it now. I never thought I'd say that again. And I have this philosophy that I'm going to do right now is, I think what I'm going to do over the next year is put $1,000 to $2,000 into Bitcoin. But when there are pops, and I want to basically build a portfolio where my Bitcoin is for free. What do you mean by free? So in other words, if I put $1,000 into it and I build it up to $2,000 and I've already doubled my money, I may sell half the position and basically let the profits run. So at the end of the day, if Bitcoin went to nothing, I didn't lose nothing. I pulled out my initial investment. Now, if obviously at 37,000, if it runs to 3 million, which is roughly 90 some times your money in 10 years, yes, I'm missing out on that. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna try to build a position that when I do make 20%, 30% profits, that I'll cut down on it and get to the point where I'm using the house money to just let it ride. And my hope is one day, hey, maybe 10 years down the road, if it is at, let's say, even 300,000, I get 10 times my money. If I had put a thousand, built it to 2,000, and then 1,000, oh yeah, maybe I don't have 600,000 versus 300,000, but I'm still gonna do okay. There's a lot of uncertainty in the market right now, and like with any investments, I always feel it's risky. And last year was a rough year. I talk about my losses. I took a beating on 2 stocks. I shorted Apple stock back in 2020 and took a $5,000 loss on that, and took an $8,000 loss on Roku. Apple, hindsight, I thought basically that I would have, who was buying cell phones with everything tied down, but they are such a solid company worldwide that I just thought, when I had shorted the stock, I thought that, and I wasn't looking to short it forever. I was just looking to short it to make money in a 3 to 6 month. But it backfired on me, and I took the $5,000 loss. Roku, on the other hand, I turned out to be right, and it got so hyped up over. I shorted in the 300 range, and it went to 400, and I took the $8,000 loss. And my timing. I took the loss, and boom, the next 2 or 3 months, all it did was drop after that. And now here we sit at 148. I basically, instead of having an 8, it was closer to about 9,200. But I had some put options, and I made a little bit on that. But still, basically around a $9,200 loss. I would have instead had about a $12,000 gain had I wrote it this far down. But obviously, let's not kid ourselves. The minute that it started going back up, you would have panicked, and I would have got out, which is true. But I would have traded it several times, and when you start taking capital away of that, then you start kind of chasing, and it becomes its own mess itself. So today, as you can see, Bitcoin is at 37,300. So I've already made about 3% on the small positions. So I am using Coinbase, and I've had a Coinbase wallet for a couple years, and I did it because I always want to say I held a little bit of Bitcoin, but there are a lot of people that support Bitcoin and what it is, and there's more and more businesses willing to accept it. The Bitcoin only has roughly an $800 billion market cap of all the, I hate to say coins because it's not a physical coin that you hold. So, and when you think about just the United States is basically a $15 trillion GDP, and even China is that. So Bitcoin is a very small proportionate of the world's currency, and they're definitely seeing more adoption of it. What has happened recently, especially in the past, I think 2 years, is that the IRS in the United States has stepped in and said, "Hey, you got to pay taxes on gains." Who cares? I don't care. For me, that's not an issue with me. If I make 1,000, turn it into 2,000, I'll all the taxes that not a problem. When you could basically make more money instead of putting it in the dollar and putting it in a bank, and you're only getting 1 or 2%, and if you could even average 20-25% a year on Bitcoin, you're still way ahead than what you're making from the bank. So I don't have a problem with that. So there I am. Full disclosure, I'm in under $50 right now. I'm gonna start over this year 1,000 to 2,000. If we're at 37,000 now, if tomorrow I woke up and it was 60,000, would I buy more? No, I'm not looking to buy those high days if we get 10%, 15%. What I'm doing is looking to dollar cost average over the next year and nibble into it to the point where next year I hold around $2,000, and then evaluate it from then. If I have those, like for example, if I get in on an average of, say, over the next year, if my average comes out to be around 45,000 and it's sitting at 75, 80,000 a year after that, I will sell half the position and then hold, and then look to buy on. Really I'm gonna use it as a small position, use it as a trading tool, and basically want it to be that when I take my money out and when I'm break even, that whatever I have in Bitcoin is a free ride, and that's exactly what I'll do. So, hey guys, I do appreciate you watching the video. I try to do several videos a week, but I don't try to force them. I do the stock of the day. I talk about all things money. And I plan on doing more, talking about different money in business, CDs, real estate. I have an experience in all that, and the subject of Bitcoin has come up. So I said, you know what? Let's get into Bitcoin, and let's be realistic and real, and what the thesis is of why I'm doing Bitcoin, and I'm not a professional. I'm not gonna post every day. Well, what did I do? I will post several videos going forward because there is an interest in crypto, and I can't be foolish myself and say, hey Pat, you're missing out on something. You don't need to dump $10,000 in. You don't need to dump $5,000. You don't need to dump $1,000 in. You can get in for $50, $100 a month. And always keep in mind when you're buying through Coinbase, there is a percentage that they charge. So at $50. Right off the bat, you're pretty much losing 10%, $5. So you're really getting in at 45. So you don't want to be buying, $10, $20. I think pretty much I'm gonna average probably about $100 a month and take it from there and see how I do. So wish me luck. I greatly appreciate your support. My name is Pat Dees. This channel is Money Me, and I'll see you again.